Today I have a full load from Malone's to deliver. I stopped at Michael Wood's last night. I'm just going to pop into the services now, go to the loo, have a coffee, and then I can go back, do my daily checks and get on with my day. First drop today is in Chippenham, then I'm off down to Highbridge, followed by Holsworthy and Truro. I've started my card now, so I'm just going to go round and do my daily checks. Today is the first time this year I've been able to do my daily checks in the daylight, which is a good sign that better weather is on the way. I check around the truck to make sure that everything is in good working order, and I also check around the load to make sure it's strapped down nice and tight. Chippenham farm sales is about 50 minutes away, so I'm going to make a move in a minute. It's 7 o'clock and they open at 8. I'm just going to fill out my daily checks on the app, then I can go. I thought it was a bit chilly this morning, and it is. It is 2 degrees, but it is looking like it might be a really nice day. It's Wednesday today. So far this week, we've had quite good weather. We haven't had rain, as you can see from my daily checks. Here we go. I make my way out of the services and directly onto the M5 heading southbound. I only stay on the M5 for around 10 minutes before I get to the Almondsbury interchange, and I take the M4 heading eastbound. This takes me right past the exit for the M32, which takes you right into the centre of Bristol and is normally quite busy at this time in the morning. I leave the M4 at junction 17 and go right around the roundabout towards Chippenham on the A350. The farm sales is just the other side of Chippenham, so I head through Chippenham and under the viaduct built by Isambard Kingdom Brunel in 1841 and is now a Grade 2 listed structure. I find myself driving into a low sunrise as I turn into the lane, so I proceed with extra caution. I drive down the long narrow lane to the farm sales and then carefully through the narrow gateway, using every bit of space I have to get in. Just trying to think. What he's got to take off, I think, is the other side. So I might need to turn around first. Hopefully I can come down here and speak to the chap and then work it out from there where he wants me to actually park. Right, let's go and speak to him. We've looked around, just double checked which bits are for here, and we've worked out where I'm going to park so that it's easier to get it off. So he's just going to move a trailer out the way and then I can pull down, get it off nice and easy, hopefully. I make a start at unstrapping the pieces that are theirs. They have a mower and a tedder to be unloaded here. If you've watched my previous videos, you will know that the Malone equipment comes in kit form and then it is built at the delivery point. This is to save space when transporting the goods. The first piece of equipment off is the tedder at the back. The handler can simply hook into it and it can be lifted off of the back of the trailer. The chap unloading goes and puts it out of the way before coming back to unload the mower with the fork attachments on. The mower is on a pallet, so we break the plastic just so that he can see where to put the forks in. We watch him in nice and steady and he lifts it gently. That slight cracking you could hear was the pallet breaking. So now we need to come up with a solution to get the mower off without any damage. The chap leaves the handler where it is and moves the pallet next to it across with a forklift. This should hopefully prevent the pallet from catching and prevent any further damage. The pallet with the mower on can then be lifted off safely. With a bit of careful driving, it's off the lorry and onto the floor. To get these 2 items off, I had to unstrap a couple of the other items. So before I go, I need to restrap these items and get the pallet moved back across so that I can restrap that one down as well. A little bit more challenging than it should have been this morning, but it's all strapped up now and ready to head over to Highbridge. From where I'm parked, there's plenty of room to turn around in here, and all I have to do is back up in a straight line and pull round to the left towards the exit. Once again, I take it steady through the gateway as it is quite narrow coming out of here, and I feel very aware of the rear swing of the trailer. I make it out unscathed and it's back down the narrow lane towards the main road. I head back around Chippenham towards the M4 and I rejoin the motorway at junction 17, but this time I'm heading eastbound. As I get to the Almondsbury interchange, I follow the signs for the M5 heading southbound. I stay on the M5 to junction 22 for Burnham on Sea, and as I head towards the farm machinery dealership, I spot one of my ex-colleagues, Neil Conway. He wasn't in his usual truck today as his was in for MOT. As I pull into this industrial area, you may find it familiar from my carnival videos. This is where we squeeze the carnival car into in the dark and park here between Burnham on Sea Carnival and Weston-super-Mare. It's quite busy in here today and the unit that I'm delivering to is right at the bottom. Just gonna find a little spot to park up for now. I'll pop in and see them. After popping in to see them, they said I can stay parked where I am and they will bring the handler out to unload me. So I go out and make sure that all the straps are off before they come round. There is only one tedder to be delivered here and it will be lifted off with a strap. One of the chaps breaks the plastic to put the straps in round where they need to go, and the other chap pulls up with the handler with the fork attachments, and the straps are looped around the forks to be lifted off. As it's lifted, it's guided off so that it doesn't swing about too much, and they can take it off round to their unit at Wainfield Agriculture. I just check around the load and make sure everything is strapped safely before I go. Another one off. I'm off down to Holsworthy next, so I'll give them a ring before I go. Basically, I need to turn around, but there's quite a few big potholey puddles in here, so I need to work out the best way to turn around without damaging the truck. So I think I might drive up there and reverse back into here and go straight out. Hiya, it's Gemma from Bradford Transport. I've got a load of Malone stuff for you. I've been to you before, haven't I, with some Fleming stuff. Yeah, better off coming in from Holsworthy end and then out the other end.
Yeah, that would be better.
Cheers, bye. That's that done, and now I'm going to get myself turned around now. Definitely air up. Turning around wasn't too bad in the end, and I had plenty of space to avoid all of the puddles. I make my way back out to the gate, and I do wonder how we get our 11-foot wide carnival cart in through here, which is just over 2.5 foot wider than my truck. I get back onto the M5 heading southbound, and looking at my fuel gauge, I think I will pop in and get some fuel. Just popped into the fuel bunker here at Bridgewater. I try to stop here if I can because they do really look after their customers. It's just off of junction 24, and I can remember over COVID, this was one of the cheapest places to get fuel for your car. It was when the prices went sky high and everywhere was ridiculously priced. All the fuel stations were running out of fuel. There was a queue outside of here all the time because it was the cheapest place for miles. I can remember being in the shop and a lady went in and she said, "How come you can do it so cheap and everybody else isn't doing it this cheap?" And the chap said, "We're just looking after our customers and not making a profit." Whereas other people, because the price has gone up, they've chucked another couple of pence on to make a bit more money themselves. So if you are passing Bridgewater and you need HGV fuel, please come into here and support them. Normally I stay a lot cleaner in this job than I did in my previous one, but obviously not today. Right, let's go. I head back out onto the main road and straight towards the motorway, where I continue down the M5 heading southbound. This takes me through the roadworks on the motorway past Tiverton and Clumpton. At the end of the motorway near Exeter, I take the A30 and I stay on the A30 until I get to Salton Cross. From here, I will head cross country over to Holsworthy. It's not the best of roads, but I know it quite well. And I also know that I won't be able to get under the low bridge in Holsworthy, so I take the narrow road that avoids the low bridge. It's also a road that is generally quite busy, and it has quite a steep climb out the other side for a HGV. And the icing on the cake is pulling up onto the mini roundabout at the top of the hill. I head straight across here and down the lane towards Shorten Abbot, the next machinery dealership. Right, I'm here. I'm not actually able to get into the yard with an Arctic, so I need to park down on the road as tight to the entrance as I can, so that I can be unloaded and vehicles can get past me down the other side. They see me as soon as I pulled up and went off to get the handler to unload, which gives me the opportunity to unstrap as much as I can, starting with the first thing that they said they are going to unload. He starts with the first mower, which is on a pallet. These guys are having 3 mowers, 1 tedder and a box of parts. Fortunately, this time there was no pallet breakages on any of the 3 mowers that were on pallets. It's not the easiest thing to unload on this slope, but it never seems to faze them here. I try to stay ahead of myself by unstrapping the next bit that they are going to take off before they get back. And I'm also trying to tidy up as I go to make it easier for me at the end. The next job is getting the tedder off, which needs to be taken off with chains, so they cut the plastic and get the chains on ready for lifting. As you can see, I'm as tight over to the left hand side as I can get. The tedder gets slung out with a bit of guidance and it's taken off into the yard ready for their customer. They also have a box of parts, but unfortunately it's the box of parts that's on the other side of the trailer. So they need to move the box of parts that's on this side of the trailer to get to their box of parts on the other side of the trailer. To get to the last piece of machinery, I need to pull the truck forwards. This is a very long pallet, so they will need to put long forks onto the handler. Whilst they're doing this, I make sure that everything is strapped down, as I did have to unstrap one of the mowers to get the other mowers off. As you can see, if they didn't have long forks for this particular pallet, the pallet would be heavy on the far end and would probably topple off. In fact, they probably wouldn't be able to lift it at all. The final thing that I need to ask them to do before I go is sign the paperwork.
Right, that's another one done. I am going to get out of here as quickly as I can because the schools will kick out in a bit and I want to beat the school traffic. So I'm just going to go and then hopefully I can find a lay-by and ring up my next place to find out if I can actually tip today, which hopefully I can.
As I can't turn around, I need to go straight on and go out in a different direction. It's not the best place to get in and out of, but the guys at the dealership know this, and they're always very helpful with directions and very quick to get the truck unloaded so that it's not holding up any traffic. Unfortunately, I did have to go up on the curb to get past this van, and as you can see by my facial expressions, I didn't really like doing this, although with some of the places that we go, we have no choice. I continue on down the narrow lane until I get to the main road, when I head towards Launceston.
I've just managed to pull into a lay-by 15 minutes down the road. I managed to beat the school traffic, thank goodness, and I'm just looking at where I'm going next. According to Google Maps, I'm about an hour away, but I think it'd probably be a bit more than that. It's 3 o'clock now, so I'm just going to give them a ring and let them know I'll be there maybe 4:30ish. Hiya, I've got products from Malone's for you.
Thing are you on?
I've got an Arctic.
Right, because you aren't going to get into us. So the nearest you can really get is to our next door neighbour. You can park your lorry easy and you can turn around.
And can I come straight off the A30 then, or is that closed?
No, you...
Right, cheers.
See you later.
Cheers,
Right,
bye.
Bye.
Oh, I like Cornish people. Let's get down there. Ring, I think. Right. Let's go.
From here, I head down through Whitstone towards Launceston. There are a couple of little tight bits along this road, including this bridge where I meet a tailor's lorry. As you can see, it's not the easiest to navigate in an Arctic, especially if you've got another lorry coming the other way. Once I get through Launceston, I continue heading south on the A30. I leave the A30 and join the A39 towards Truro, and I follow the lady's directions down to the farm where I need to tip, and at the moment is the only way in and out of their place. As I head down towards the lane, this sign does worry me a little, but I know that I'm definitely on the right road. I take it as steady as I can down the lane as it is quite narrow, and there's also a lot of low trees. The 2 machines that I have left on are up on the step frame, so they are sitting quite high, and I really don't want to damage them. It's quite a long road in and I do meet a few cars, but eventually I do get to the farm. And it does look like they have a big enough area for me to turn around and unload.
I don't think I'm going to have any other choice but to spin around, but there is quite a bit of space here, so...
I get myself turned around and backed into a spot where I think it would be ideal for unloading.
Someone's coming down, so hopefully they will have some answers.
The guys that come in to unload the truck are out on a job at the moment, so I've just got to wait a little while, but the lady here is going to make me a cup of coffee, so it's all good. She's just been telling me how awful it is to get off of the A30 at the moment. They've been putting up with this for 5 years of the lane being shut, so I've come in a different way than how I should have come in. I should have come in a better way, but it's all closed at the moment. Yeah, it's not nice for them. It's really not nice. 5 years is a long time to have the road shut to your house. I had a lovely coffee and a chat with the lady who owns the farm here, and then the guys from the dealership turn up. So I set about unstrapping the load. This is my last drop, so everything left on the trailer is theirs. He takes the mower off first with the forks as it is on a pallet and puts it down out of the way. Then he comes back for the tedder and he puts the forks right up above the tedder with the chains on. He cuts down through the plastic and attaches the chains to the tedder. When he gets down, it almost looks like he's coming out of some sort of egg. Maybe this is how farmers are born. He gets back in the handler and gently lifts it to take it away from the lorry. And he puts it down to one side as there is still a box of parts to come off. We need to push the forks in a little bit to get the box of parts off. Finally, the trailer is empty and we've had some quite good weather for it as well. I get my paperwork signed and then I can be on my way.
Well, that was a pleasant visit. Now I just need to get back down that awful lane. Should be used to it by now, shouldn't I, after 16 years?
The farm where I unloaded was an arable farm, and the lady was telling me how they struggled to get combines and grain dryers down through that lane in the last 5 years since the road to the A30 has been closed. I get back onto the A30 heading northbound, and my next collection is in Southampton. Although I do need a break and a shower before I go too much further, so I pop into Cornwall services, and I managed to get a nice space where I can reverse in on my good side. One thing I like about Cornwall services is the truck parking spaces are a sensible size. In a lot of services, the truck spaces are so narrow that you can barely open your door to get out.
I've just popped into Cornwall services and I'm just going to go and have a quick shower. The showers are a bit weird in here, but I do need one. I'm going to go and do that. Then I'm going to ring the chap where I'm going next. So my job for tomorrow has actually changed. I was supposed to go down to Southampton, and it is now changed to Tiverton, Devizes and Swindon, because we were let down on a job that may or may not be there, and they just thought that we can sit around and wait for a load for a day. But obviously I would have needed to have taken that up to the docks on tomorrow night, Thursday night, and then brought a load back down Friday to get me home. I think they just thought we run around empty all the time. So everything's changed. Chris has managed to ring around and find a load, so that's what I'm going to go and do. So this in here is the shower. Smells like a man has been in here. I smell like Lynx Africa or something. There's actually nowhere in here to put your stuff. There's no hook on the door, so you actually have to come out, and so I hope a man doesn't walk in thinking they're going to use the shower when I'm in here, because it has happened before. At the end of the day, they have their own showers next door.
The shower can't make its mind up what temperature it wants to be, but at least I feel a lot fresher.
That shower was hot, cold all the time. At least I've had one. I'm just going to ring the place where I'm going in the morning, and hopefully I can load really early.
Hello.
Hiya, it's Gemma. I'm coming to collect a car from you tomorrow morning. I'm just wondering what time I can come and get it and some directions.
Sort of any time, really.
I can be there any time from probably about 5:30, so it's up to you. What time do you normally get up?
No, we're farmers. We're about to start lambing. 5:30 doesn't scare me.
Oh, that's all right then. Oh, good. Yeah.
Have to try a lot harder than that to scare me.
Oh, that's all right then. That's good.
We'll have to load you in a road. You won't get off the road.
Right. Cheers. Bye.
And this is exactly why I like working with farmers, because you can get good little loading times like that instead of having to wait for somebody to get out of bed in the morning. I make my way out of Cornwall services and up the A30 heading northbound. My aim now is to get as close to Tiverton as I possibly can, using my remaining driving time. So tonight it means I will be stopping in Clumpton, and I know just where to park around there. As I pull into the industrial estate, I spot another ex-Wayne's driver's truck. Peter Pratt now works for Coles Earth Moving, and he already has his curtains closed, so I reckon he's getting some beauty sleep.
That's me all parked up. I'm just going to make myself some tea, and then I will probably go straight to bed because I'm going to have 9 hours off tonight. I've done a 14-hour day today. I'm going to have 9 hours off tonight. I want to get a good start tomorrow and try and get the car on and the 2 tractors, get the trailer dropped, cut my next trailer, which will basically be the trailer that gets me home. So the quicker that I can get that one done, the sooner I'll get home. So tonight for tea, I've got some roast potatoes and broccoli that I made on Sunday for a roast dinner, but I didn't have enough meat, so I'm actually having salmon with it, which is a bit weird with roast potatoes. But I don't have any gravy and I don't have any sauce, so it's just basically broccoli, salmon and potatoes. Right. Tea time. I feel like I'm mashing it up like a child. Roast potatoes are never the same reheated, are they?
Thanks for watching and good night. Don't forget you can get my merch at f28print.com.